You can work. What if I tell you that you can work faster and cleaner in your AutoCAD drawings using clever shortcuts? And today I'll be giving you 15 shortcuts that will make your work faster and cleaner. My name is Ben Wankwo, and I help beginners and even advanced AutoCAD users master how to use those AutoCAD and how to work with AutoCAD faster and better. So, like I said earlier, we'll be looking at 15 shortcuts that will make your work faster, better, and cleaner. So, let's dive in. I've taught you how to use these icons, clicking on the menus. Today, I'll be focusing on just the command line. So, the number one shortcut we'll be looking at is line. If you want to draw line, simply you can just click L. You can just click L and then click on line, and then you're ready. Specify the first point. Wherever you click becomes the first point, and then you draw. The next place you click becomes the second point, and you continue. You can click another point and maybe close. Okay, so you can draw lines simply by using writing L on the command line. That is the first. Now, the second shortcut is, assuming you want to draw circle, just click C and you pick on circle, and then automatically the command line will tell you to specify center. Okay, and if I anywhere I click now become the center, then you can specify next diameter, or you can just roll the mouse and get the the circle you want. Okay, so that's that's number two. The number three, the number three should be rectangle. You want to draw rectangle, just type REC. Okay, and you pick rectangle. So specify the first point or first corner. Wherever I click become the first point. Okay, so the next thing now, you can draw by dimension or by radius or by area. Okay, as mean I want to draw by, I can just roll the mouse and get the rectangle, or I can choose to draw by area. Okay, so that I have to now enter the area. Let's say 1000 mm. Okay, specify length. I can say length 100. Enter. Invalid option. Calculate rectangle dimension based on length times 10. The okay, length width. Enter rectangle width 10, of course 10. Sorry, the thing actually is too small. Remember, I draw these two without dimensions. So this is the rectangle 100 mm, 10 mm. Sorry, it's very small, but you get it. You get it. So you just type RCE, and then let me do it again. Rectangle. Okay, wherever you click becomes the first, and then you can just move the mouse. Okay, so this is a rectangle. This is actually the screen. So everything I've done so far I've done without dimension, so that's why this I did with dimension looks small. Okay, but that's by the way. Okay, so The next is move. You can move. You can move by just typing M and click on move. So the next is select object. Assuming I want to move this circle, I just click on the circle, say enter, and then I can move it from this point to this point. Okay. Then the next is copy. You can just click C or even CO, C or CO. Okay. So you pick copy. Then you select the object you want to copy. As me, I want to copy this rectangle. I select it, enter. Then I pick it and then drop them where I want to be, where I want them to be. Maybe I want to copy it into these places. Okay, that's number what right now? That's number 5. Okay, let's look at number 6 shortcut, trim. Number 6 shortcut, trim. Now you want to trim an object. For us to do trim, let me first of all draw. Let me say I draw this line. Let me also draw some line here. Okay, so to trim, remember trimming is cutting off part of a drawing I don't want. Okay, let me draw an extra line here. So if I say, if I want to trim, I can just say TR and get me trim. I click on trim and you remember, and click enter. Then as me, I want to click off this, to take off this, you can now take off wherever you want to take off. Maybe I want to take off this, just click, I want to take off this, just click on what you take off, you take it off. Maybe I want to take off this as well. I click on it, I take it off. Okay. The next shortcut is extend. Extend. And extend is just type EX, extend. You click enter. And remember, extend is to move a line to the nearest line. For instance, if I select this now, it will move the line to the nearest one. If I select this, it will move it to the nearest line. If I click on this, it will move it to the nearest line. So that's extend. Okay, the next shortcut we'll be looking at is zoom extend. Zoom extend. Zoom extend. Zoom extend is if maybe you are drawing and the drawing, you lost your drawing. Sometimes it happens, especially to beginners. You can lost your drawing like as it is now. You lost your drawings because actually a drawing space can be so wide that I can draw 10,000 things here. So sometimes a drawing you are drawing may just seem to get lost. You can't find it again. So you use zoom extend. Zoom extend, you just type Z, enter, E, enter. You see the whole drawing will come out. Zoom extend, Z, enter, E, enter, the whole drawing will come out. Okay, so the next shortcut we'll be looking at is undo. Undo. Sometimes you may be drawing and you needed to undo. Let me use line for instance, and I'm using line to demonstrate that. Assuming you draw a line, a part of a line, draw the second part of a line, draw the third part of a line, and you noticed you made a mistake, you just try type control Z, and then that last part is undone. If I type control Z again, this other second part is undone. So I have gone back to the first part of the drawing. So you use control Z to undo a work, their last work, if you notice that you have made a mistake. Then the next shortcut is save. If you are If you're working and you want to save your work, like I want to save what I've just done so far, I just type Control S. This one is common that we all know. So once you type Control S, the work will be saved. Okay, it will be saved. This work is already saved. This is if you notice, there's some work here, so it's already pre-saved. But if it's not a pre-saved work, when you type Control Save, the first thing that will happen is save as. You now save the work originally, and then you continue your work. But this work, like I said, is already saved. So originally in a file, and it has a name, assignment original given to it. So that's why when I click Control S, what happened is that this work I just did now all get saved. Okay, so that's how to save your work when you're working. Then this next one is polygon. Polygon is a multi-sided object. Okay, you can do a polygon by just typing POL. Okay, and then you have polygon. So enter number of sides. I can say 6. Enter. Okay, then specify polygon. Specify center of polygon. Where do you want to be the center? If I click here, that becomes the center. Then it asks you, is it inscribed in a circle or circumscribed in a circle? Let's say I want inscribed. So already it's telling me I say enter. So automatically it's drawn. So inscribed in a circle means that if I draw a circle now, the circle will be inside it. Subscribe means that if you draw a circle, the circle will be able to fit at the edges outside. Okay, so that's a polygon. Then the next is rotate. You can rotate a work. You can rotate a work. What do I use for the example? Okay, let me copy first of all. Copy. Remember, I've shown you how to copy with a shortcut. So let me copy the other way so that you still remember in case you have forgotten how to do it the other way. As I want to rotate this, so you can RO, we pick rotate. I want to rotate this. I select the rectangle and I click enter. So select where do I want to rotate it from? I click where I want to. Let's say I want to rotate it from this point. I click here. So you see, if I'm rotating my mouse, it will rotate according from that same point I choose. If I want to rotate it just 90 degrees, I can just type 90 degrees, enter. I say rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, so the next shortcut is arc. You want to draw an arc, you can just simply click A, okay, and click on arc. So specify start point of arc or center. So I specify here, specify second point, and then let me remove auto mode. I specify second point, okay, and then of course the third point. I'm using 3 point arc, the start, the center, and the end. Okay, so if I'm drawing arc again, and this time I want to say I start point here, enter, and then of course that's still the same 3 points. You can just middle, and then wherever you click again become center. It will become the end. Sorry. So that's for now. Then the next is fillet. Fillet, you want to connect to close two lines. You want to close two lines. I draw a line, for instance, and I draw another line, and I want to close the line with a rounded I want to close the line with a rounded arc. I just click on fillet, select the first object, I select this, select the second object, I select this, and then you see it rounds it up. It rounds it up. We can do again F, fillet. So select the first of the first of all, we can say that you want to oh sorry, I've not even drawn the what I want to. So we go again, fillet. Okay. Um Select first object and then reduce. But this will be tricky because I didn't scale this. So putting a radius when I didn't scale it will be tricky. But let me just say 1000. Okay, it's still able to put. But the first thing I want you to notice is that actually it is curved. The joining is curved. Okay. So the next is explode. Explode. Explode is when you want to dismantle an object that is already a block. Okay. Let's assume that okay. Let me first of all create a block so that I will now be able to tell you how to explode using shortcuts. So assuming I bring this thing here, I bring this thing here, and I want to make it an object. There are two ways you can make this a block, but let me just go about it the shortest way. I just copy. Let me just use copy. I copy the whole thing. Actually, what we have here is how many objects? One, two, three, four. Okay, I say enter. So I've copied it now. I go to paste, and instead of pasting it now using just paste, I paste as a block. So I paste it. So this one is how many objects? One, two, three, four. But this is a block now. So this block now is one object. The whole thing now is now one object. It's no more four objects. So you use this when you want to create maybe a symbol, like electrical symbol. You don't want all the parts to remain different parts. You want the whole thing to remain to be a one object, to be an object. Sorry. Okay. So you make it a block. Okay. Now explode. If I want to dismember it again, so that they become their individual unit, I use explode. Okay. So if I say X now, I'll click on explode. So select object. I um, I select the whole thing and I say enter. So automatically it has exploded it. It has come back to their individual object. It's no more one object that become four objects. So you find out that at the end of the day, we have looked at line, circle, rectangle, polygon, trim, extend, zoom, extend, zoom, extend. We have looked at fillet, export, arc, rotate, polygon, just about 12 of them. So what you simply need to do is to watch the video, practice them one by one, and then you can just, by the time you practice it twice or three times, you'll master it. I drop videos like this 2 times minimum a week. So if you want to learn AutoCAD, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like, and share. Thank you for watching.